with that, I knew also that the culture of a company is really important. And we don't really deal with the culture issues as much as we're just going to put in 5S, or we're just going to go in and put a Kanban system in, those artifacts and tools. That from that experience, I worked with two other co-authors, and we created a book called Creating a Kaizen Culture. I did that in 2015, and it was really to address the culture issues that we need to look at when you were trying to become lean minded. And I want to be really careful. Our goal here is not to become the best lean company. The goal is to be the best company providing the service or product to our customer at the best price, at the highest quality, using lean as one of the approaches. So the goal is not to become a lean company. The goal is to be the best service or product provider using lean. So this deals with that in this book, and we were lucky enough to win the Shingo Award for our publication in 2015. So with that, I have worked with lots of other clients, so I have a list of a few of them. Some you may recognize, everything from straight manufacturing. So I've worked with Nissan. I've worked with Reebok and their products, medical equipment, Kenworth and Peterbilt trucks, Phillips, worked with them, and then other clients that you would not expect, like banks, the IMF in Washington, D.C., and even Walt Disney in the both parks down in Florida and in California. So this doesn't apply just to manufacturing, although TPM is going to be very manufacturing focused. The products of service, everything's got a process. So this is about process thinking and improving the process through our examples that we have here. All right, so let's talk about 1985 and Shigeo Shingo, my first experience with Lean. I was a young engineer fresh out of college. We had this Japanese guy come over to our plant, could not speak English. And in his discussion with us through an interpreter, he explained to us that changeovers and setups should be single digit, 9 minutes or less, basically 10 minutes or less. And we looked at him like he was crazy, because there was like no way that we could do changeovers that fast. Our changeovers on our presses took anywhere from an hour to 4 or 5 hours, depending on the intensity of the changeover and the model. And he said, well, let's go and see. Let's go to Gemba, which is the workplace. Let's go and see for ourselves and gather data. So we went down, we videotaped ourselves looking at a press, doing the changeover, and it took 1 hour, just like normal. And he said, we're going to make that 10 minutes or less. So we followed his approach, very much not believing anything he was telling us. And he explained internal and external elements to us. And he said that those are the two type of elements in your changeover. Basically, they are internal, are elements that are done while the machine is stopped. And things like putting your hands inside the machine to change a die, the machine should be turned off. And then other ones like going and searching for equipment, searching for material, searching for tools can be done external. They don't have to be done while the machine stops. So we just separated those elements, and lo and behold, after our first trial of understanding those elements and making external and keeping internal the best we could, we reduced it to 30 minutes from a 1 hour changeover. So that's amazing. We high-fived each other and said, this is great. And he said, please try again. There's more waste in the process. And then he explained about how you have pass lines on the material going through the die. And we have to adjust the RAM up and down for the different die heights. He said, what if we made it the same height? That way you don't make the adjustments anymore. So let's work on adjustments. So we said, okay, and we shimmed up the dies to make it the same height. Lo and behold, no more adjustments there. And we cut another 10 minutes off our changeover. Now it's 20 minutes. We're high-fiving each other. This is great. And he said, please try again. There's more waste in the process. So then he said, look at how you fasten the die to the bolster plate. Basically, it was traditional like Swiss cheese type bed where you have different holes threaded and you lined up the holes with the die and then put the bolt in it and tighten it down with a wrench. And you had 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top. And after that, all that tightening and turning of the nuts and bolts. He said, what if you put slots in the bolster and the die and you set up your nut and bolt to about the exact height, you slide it in, and then it's one turn. And we go, oh, that's pretty cool. Let's try that. So we try that and cut more time off the changeover. And we go, oh, this is fantastic. This is great. We're high-fiving each other again. And he said, please, there's more waste in the process. And we did this over and over and over again all week long. So when we did the final changeover at the end of the week, we went from 1 hour to 4.5 minutes on the changeover. So we're going, oh, this is great. This is better than the Japanese. And we're high-fiving each other. We beat that 10-minute mark. We're really good. And he said, please wait. There's more waste in the process. You could save 1 second here. You could save 5 seconds there. So it's constantly examining continuous improvement of the process was the main point that he was saying. So that was my first experience with understanding lean thinking. And I've been doing lean ever since as a result of that experience. Now, Mr. Shingo said a lot of cool things during the week that I spent with him. And he said that there are basically 4 purposes for improvement: easier, better, faster, and cheaper. But these are the 4 goals appear in the order of priority. So always focus on trying to make jobs easier and better. You'll get faster and cheaper. Because traditionally in the United States, we do it opposite. We're trying to make things faster and cheaper. So he said, do it in the right order and you'll get the objective made. So that's been my mantra ever since, is I'm just simply understanding processes and looking how to make them easier and better, because I will get my speed as a result of that, take the time out. So that was an important lesson that he had. So with that experiences and understanding on how lean is and the thinking in my background, let's talk a little bit about machines.